Hey guys! Welcome to the third episode of my Axial SCX10 build series. The suspension links have been assembled in the last episode, and in this episode, I will go over steps 15 to 17 of the Axial SCX10 Raw Builders Kit. Now, I am aware that the shocks are a weak spot on this kit, but I want to give them a try before swapping them out. Let's begin. For steps 15 to 17, you will need bag C, parts from plastic bag 2, some grease, a wire cutter, and a hex wrench. Step 15 is the assembly of the shocks. First, I like to coat the O-rings in a light coat of grease, which makes it seal better. Then, slide one O-ring, one plastic spacer, and another O-ring into the shock body and secure them by screwing on the bottom of the shock body. Next, slide an E-clip on top of the shock shaft, slide the shock piston into place, and secure it with another E-clip. Then, you can slide the shaft through the shock body and screw on the rod end on the bottom of the shaft and insert the pillow ball. Make sure to do this to the 3 other shocks to complete this step. For step 16, you will need to fill up the shocks with oil, but before you do so, screw on the preload collar. Then put the shock cap O-ring into the shock cap and tighten it down on the shock body to seal the O-ring into place, and untighten and remove the cap. The reason we do this is so that it makes it easier to seal the shocks after it has been filled with oil. Now we can pour the oil into the shock body and try not to make any bubbles when doing so. Fill it up until it's almost level with the edge and move the piston up and down to let the remaining bubbles escape. Do that for several minutes or until there are close to no bubbles left. When screwing on the cap, make sure the shock shaft is compressed to prevent any hydrolock. Wipe off the overflowing oil and screw on the shock cap. Now you can attach the faux shock reservoirs by securing it with a screw. Then you can insert the pillow ball into the shock shaft, slide the spring over the shock body, and secure it with a shock retainer. Do the same thing to the 3 other shocks to complete this step. Note that the front and rear shock springs have different rates. The front springs are marked yellow and the rear white. I'll leave these shocks overnight and see if they leak. If they do leak, I may swap them out for a cheap set of aluminum shocks I have lying around, but they leak a little too, so we'll see. And I'll make an update on the next video as well. That completes episode 3 of the Axial SCX10 build series. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. Like always, I'll see you guys in the next one.